and then realized that I wasn't live. Rookie mistake. I was trying to do you all a favor and have the camera turned around with a good camera facing me, but I can't see. So I was trying to pull up the live stream on my iPad. I couldn't find it. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to turn the camera back around, you know. And so you missed the, the first, almost the first third of the cigar. So let's back up. Today, this is not an official pairing. I just felt like it because I'm outside. It's a beautiful afternoon. It's in the 60s. Got college football on the TV here on the No Shoes Bar and Grill patio. I've got a Tabak Especial, and I am mixing that with, not mixing it, but pairing it with Caliber, the Caliber Coffee Company, 22 caliber coffee. All their coffee is named after rounds, bullets. 22 caliber, 9mm, 300 blackout, and the more ominous the name, the darker the roast. The 22 caliber is their lightest, and I'm not a big like espresso guy or anything like that. You get much past a medium roast, you've lost me. Back when I owned a coffee house, the best blends or even single origins that I sold were ones that I roasted the lightest. So what I did was I did one of their, they call them rounds, but they're coffee K-cups for your, big name coffee maker. You put the little cup in it and it makes coffee for you. I don't want to get in trouble for using their name. So anyway, one, I'm affiliate marketer for Caliber Coffee, so I can talk about them. One 10-ounce. Then I add 3 ounces of Kahlua, just for that added coffee flavor. A couple of monk fruit sweeteners. Monk fruit, if those of you that might have blood sugar problems, monk fruit is a really good sugar substitute. Doesn't affect your glycemic index. And stevia. I use those kind of back and forth. I don't have blood sugar problems. My doctor, my VA doctor, I have regular doctor and I have VA doctors. I have to go see the VA doctor once a year, and they have to ask me if I feel like hurting anybody else or myself. And I'm like, well, not today. But anyway, the last time I went to the VA doctor, it was right around Memorial Day. He said, how long have you been a diabetic? And I said, how long have you been smoking crack? And he got offended. And I said, well, you labeled me. I'm labeling you back. Not very much fun, is it? And I'm going to play with the settings here. Nope, I don't want to do that. Anyway, he said, the ash is still looking good. Still got that real gentle wave on the burn line. Some great chocolate notes. I'm sorry, I'll get back to the other story. This is how I operate. This is why I have to have everything scripted out when I do my shows. I have to know everything I'm going to say, because I will bird dog off. Say, I've already done it. We're already like 3 conversations in one. Anyway, so I went to. I was at the VA, and he asked me how long I'd been diabetic, and I said, never. I'm not. He said, oh yeah, you are. He said, your A1C is 8.2, and when you went to see your regular doctor, you sent me the test results, and your A1C then, which was like 6 weeks prior, was 8.6. He said, anything over like 6.1, your A1C, he said, we diagnosed you as being diabetic. I said, well, I'm not diabetic. He said, you want us to get you into our diabetic program? No, I don't. You don't? Why? Because I'm not diabetic. Yeah, you are. Well, you hide and watch. And so that was first part of June, and I went down to the uh, Sticks-n-Stone Southern Command down on the Redneck Riviera. Uh, now that I got all this live streaming stuff going, I'll be able to do a little more when I'm down there. I'm usually down there for about 7 or 8 days in the summer. Uh, I'd live down there if I could, and maybe one day soon I will. I really want to go to the islands, down into the Caribbean. Spent a couple of years in the Caribbean with the Navy when I first joined the military. Now I'm on conversation number 4, uh, and just love the islands. Love all of them. They're great. Anyway, back to this. So, uh, but I went down to the Southern Command, spent a week down there, and the building that I own in is so it's like a 22-story building. It's got 700 units in it. Got a lot of condos. I mean, it is a big high rise, and we have a tiki bar by the pool and a little snack shack that burgers and chicken fingers and all that kind of stuff. We have a coffee house inside that does coffee and donuts and all that kind of stuff, ice cream, and then the big Pineapple Willie's, the big place next door, known for their barbecue, their ribs, which seems kind of odd considering they're sitting on the beach, but I'll go with it. They have some really good seafood too, and so I did a lot of drinking while I was down there. There I am. Now I've got me up on live screen. Now I can see. It's a little off. My mouth is not keeping track, but I can see it. Anyway, but I can see you on here now too. So that will just distract me. Uh, Still going strong. There's like no pepper or spice on this to me. It's just all chocolate and coffee and sweet, uh, and some leather, maybe a little bit of cedar note in there, you know. But I love these Tabacco Specials and the Javas by Drew Estate. Both of them are by Drew Estate. And that dude, he knows how to make cigars, and he's a little quirky looking guy. I mean, you know, he he doesn't look like he'd be a master at uh, creating a cigar empire, but he's doing it. Uh, Anyway, so I get back from that. I get back from down there, and it's like July 3rd. And so while I was down there, I'm thinking, hey, I'm just going to live it up while I'm here. When I get home, I'm going to have to really buckle down, right? So I found and ordered a uh, blood sugar meter checker, but it plugs into my phone. And then I slide the little strip into it, prick my finger, put my blood on it, and it populates into an app on my phone. And so when I got home, the first one I took, my blood sugar was like 210. Uh, should be somewhere between like 80 and 120. And some people even go lower than 120. But anyway, so mine was like way out there. And huge amounts of smoke coming off this. I'm sorry, I'm going to bounce back and forth. Uh, I'm trying to, tell you about the cigar while I'm telling you about my personal life. Uh, so I did. I hit it hard. I cut. I didn't do like, I don't remember which one of those diets it was, but the one that wanted you to do like, I don't know, it's like you'd eat like a pound of bacon for breakfast in the morning, but you're just basically cutting sugar and carbs and everything out. Well, I really started restricting carbs, and this thing that I'm using, the app on my phone, you can enter everything that you eat in there. So, I have cereal for breakfast in the morning. I put in the brand and I put in the serving, and it tracks all of my carbohydrates. That's really what it's after, is tracking your carbohydrates, which includes your sugars. So I stopped eating the kids cereal. My wife always told me, you go to the store, you come back looking like an 8-year-old went to the cereal aisle. Well, I may be 54 on the outside, but I like Cap'n Crunch. That was not cool. Fortunately, it did not, and y'all got to see that. I hope somebody got to see that. I hope somebody's watching. I did not get burned. Amateur. Amateur. Anyway, I got to talk about Cap'n Crunch. So the big thing I did was I cut out as much sugar as I could cut out without cutting it all out. Oh, by the way, um, I've already smoked past it now when I thought I was live and I wasn't. There was a tear in the wrapper on the seam, and they had been folded back, and they had just brushed the sweetener that they use to give you the sweetness, the cellulose, or whatever it is, whatever they call it. So that was an imperfection. There's a crack right here, just below the band, a crack in the wrapper. I expect these to be kind of roughly rolled. This one does seem to have taken that to the extreme, but it hasn't exploded on me. It's been delicious. Uh, burn line's been a little wavy, and I'm fine with it. But just make sure, truth in advertising. Uh, so I started hitting it hard, and I made all of these corrections around sugar, and then I um, started going to the gym 3 times a week. Started, like doing 10 minutes on the elliptical machine, 15 minutes, something like that. And people would go up to the workers at the gym and they'd be like, can you get him off that machine? He's crying. Uh, you know, but now I'm doing 45 minutes. I'm not crying. And I've lost 40 pounds. Today is October 5th or 6th. So August, September. I'm at roughly about 90 days. I've dropped 40 pounds. And I like what I'm eating. There's a brand of cookies that they have them in regular or in sugar-free or zero sugar. Zero sugar is the thing now. And they come in like vanilla, strawberry, chocolate. And so I'll buy those. That you get like, I don't know, 36 of them in a package. And so I'll buy like one of each flavor. And then I only eat the serving. A serving is 3 cookies. That was, cutting back on the sugar and watching my serving size. And this probably doesn't go along with smoking cigars and drinking, but it's good information. Like in the mornings, I have these really deep cereal bowls that I've had since back when I was a bachelor, and I love them. I've got 3 of them. I'd never bought the 4th one. I was buying them individually at, I don't know, one of the dollar places. And I just fill it up or close to the top, within about that much so that it didn't flow over when you put milk in it. And like I said, I was eating all the kids' cereal. Now I ate 1 serving of granola, which is like a third of a cup, and then the round oat cereal, that you cheer for. Uh, they have different flavors, but I find the ones that have less than 30 grams of carbs in 1 serving. 1 serving is a cup. So I'm eating 1 1/3 cups of cereal as opposed to like 3 cups of the sweetened stuff. And then I throw some fresh berries on it. I like a variety. I eat all the berries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries. I put a little bit of all of them on there. It's still not a serving. And then I use Fairlife milk. I don't really care about the lactose. I'm not lactose intolerant, but removing the lactose reduces the sugar. A serving size is a cup, and I use 3/4. I don't use a full serving, which I don't need it because by the time with the cereal I got in there, by the time I put 3/4 in, it's a lot. And then I have my coffee, my iced coffee. I don't drink hot coffee. And my iced coffee, 2 either stevias or monk fruit sweeteners, and 2 tablespoons of creamer. Creamer does have sugar in it, but like I said, I'm not cutting out all sugar. I'm just really restricting it. It might work for you too. If some people want to listen to what I'm saying and go try it themselves, hey, have at it. Love for it. I would really love for people to be able to get healthy like I have been. I'd let myself go just because, no real reason. When I after my divorce over a decade ago, uh, when I left, I was like 290 pounds, and I managed to get down to like in the 240 somewhere. And I ended up meeting the lady that is the love of my life. I could never live without. Uh, and she's a great cook. Everybody in her family is a great cook. It's really hard, but she bakes. She's a big baker. She bakes everything from scratch. She doesn't buy anything. She makes a cake. She starts with flour. She makes cookies. She starts with flour. You know, makes her own icing, the whole bit. But she has she has had her own sugar problems, and so we together are trying to watch what we're doing. This Caliber coffee, I tried it, the 22 caliber. At first came because like I said, I put the stevias and the sweet, the creamer and stuff in it, but I tried it just plain, so I would know because I've never been a coffee drinker, even though I did own a coffee house for like a year or so till Starbucks ran me out of business. Yeah, they like 5 or 6 months after I opened, they opened a place across the street with a drive-through, and I couldn't afford a drive-through. And then about 6 months later, I was out of business. And like 6 months after that, they closed the location down and left it. Now they did that to every locally owned coffee house in town. All these people that want to run around with their little cup in their hand, they don't realize, what goes on. Anyway, uh, I can, just like with cigars or alcohol, I can kind of taste the differences in the different uh, coffees. Kenya Double A is my favorite single origin. It's a little more expensive than like the Central American coffees, but not as expensive as like the Jamaica Blue Mountain or Kona from Hawaii, or especially that stuff that is pooped out by some little animal over in Southeast Asia. I can't remember the name of it now, but yeah, there's some little animal that eats the coffee fruits off the trees, and then they poop out, the beans because the beans are hard as a rock. And somebody goes in, that's their job is to go in and collect those beans now that they're left on the ground. And that's what, I don't even want to try it. Now, I know where it came from. It's all right. I'll take your word for it. Great stuff. Now that I'm down a little over half, uh, still picking up a lot of sweet and a lot of chocolate. There does seem to be a little bit of spice or pepper in the background, not a lot. just enough to kind of nudge you toward it being there. And the retro inhale, it's almost like I picked up some citrus when I first started the retro, and then it went away, and then it went to more like oak cedar. It's amazing. I'm not a big retro inhale guy, but I do it, so I know all the differences. Still just a wonderful amount of smoke coming off this stick. With the coffee, of course, the way I dress it up, uh, it is just a wonderful, relaxing experience. Generally, I'm a little stiffer on the recording stuff, but I think number one, the live stream is just kind of I'm just getting on here and talking, uh, and especially like today, I'm not really doing an episode, so I'm a little more loose and open. But I think the coffee and the cigar together is really putting me into a relaxed state where I can just kind of like chill. You know, I got to go over it. Got to look on a game again. This is, you know, yes, that's as far as I'll go. I won't say the other letter. But you know where I'm going with it. Lord Jesus, where is? Oh Lord, Alabama came back. A&M's now down 7 with 9 minutes left, and A&M's driving. Love my Aggies. People find it funny, you know. You grew up in Arkansas. How'd you end up an Aggies fan? There's a movie. I remember the movie. Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Burt Reynolds and Dolly Parton. There's a big scene in there where you've got the A&M and the Texas guys at the uh, I forgot what the ranch's name was, but anyway, they're there doing what they do when they're there. And for whatever reason, I was just like A&M. That was when I was like 10 or 12 and shouldn't have been watching that movie, but I had a TV in my room and my parents didn't check. I don't think they had any idea that anything like that was on. So now I'd already graduated college when I got to Texas, but I did some grad work at A&M, uh, and I've got one daughter that has graduated from A&M, and I have two more daughters that are in 8th and 9th grade that they want to go to A&M. We're an A&M family. Kick off. Beat the hell out of Alabama. The spice seems to be ramping up a little bit here, getting closer to the end. It's not a bad thing, but I think I did enjoy the uh, just the coffee and the chocolate and the sweetness in it. Oh no, Alabama got the ball back. That's not good. You really need to beat Alabama. If we could beat Alabama, that might get us back into the top 25. Last year was terrible. And I can't remember now if I had talked all about the Pac 12 before I figured out that I wasn't going live.
But you need to go to Sticks-n-Stonez website, STICKSNSTONEZ.com, and go to the blog. I got a couple articles on there about A&M, A&M in Arkansas, A&M in Miami. But my last one was the death of the Pac-12, because the Pac-12 is dying. All of the major teams are moving out. I think at the end of this season, they're probably going to have like 7 teams left, and only like one major program. And they're probably going to end up having to merge with another conference, which would be a lower tier conference like the Mountain West. So you'll end up with 1 or 2 big schools that are just going to beat the hell out of everybody else in their conference, which I don't think is going to do anybody any good. Because if you're one of those 2 major schools and you're spending your time beating up these schools that are nowhere near as good as you are, is that really testing you? And when you get into, you know, if you happen to make it into the playoffs because you were undefeated or whatever, and you run into a buzzsaw like Ohio State or Alabama or, well, Texas number 3. I know they were losing to Oklahoma earlier, but I haven't seen a final score yet. So I don't know if they won or lost. But anyway, I don't like burnt orange. I'm glad to see Florida State back. They're number 5. Glad to see them back up after Bobby Bowden. I'm not like a big fan or anything, but he was a great guy. It's where Jimbo Fisher came from. And when it was announced that A&M was hiring him, I had a buddy of mine in the Air Force that he was a huge Florida State fan. And I, posted something about it. And he sent me a message and he said, "You're going to regret it." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, you're going to regret it." And Jimbo's a great recruiter. I'm hoping that this Bobby Petrino calling plays works better than what's been going on the last couple of years. Okay, Alabama's had to punt it away. 7.5 minutes, and we still have time to maybe get something done. The coffee and the chocolate have really kind of, mellowed out and dropped off a little. It's a lot more just kind of an aged tobacco. I still am getting a little bit of pepper, a little bit of spice, but it is kind of, like down lower in the profile. It's almost like, when you're having a drink, you're chilling out, and as you kind of get close to the end, just kind of like, settling in. It's kind of what this is like. It's like it's doing it for you. The Tabacco Special is one of my favorite cigars. This was the Cafe con Leche. It's the one that's got the double color band, and or double color wrapper. I mean, and it's really a great cigar. The Java Red Label among all the coffees might be my favorite, and I love the fact that it's box pressed. But this has to be right up there. Oh, Carhartt. another one of my ad partners. If you go to Sticks-n-Stonez.com, not only will you find my blog there where I talk about cigars, I talk about alcohol, I talk about sports. There's also a page for all of my ad partners, and there's ads sprinkled throughout the site, but there's one page that specifically all of my ad partners have an ad there. Go and support them. Cards, one of them. I posted a video of me when I received this shirt, unpackaging it and everything. And I posted that on Getter, which was one of those ones that came up when the whole thing with Facebook blew up about them censoring conservative or whatever. And so I, posted that over on Getter. I don't know how much hate mail I got because they're like, they force their employees to get vaccines. I'm like, well, it's their company. They can do what they want, whether you like it or not, or whether it's right or wrong. I mean, it's their company. They can do what they want. Not my problem. Oh yeah, I was called a sellout and a communist and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I thought this was supposed to be the site that was, like more open. You just, do whatever, not going to judge. Well, not exactly, but Carhartt. It's a great brand of clothing. I have 2 pairs of cargo shorts that I've had for years. They're still just like they were when I bought them. Got this shirt, nice, heavy cotton. I have an accounting degree. I have a law degree. I do some work around the yard, repair the fence when my dog rips a piece of fence off trying to get at the dogs behind us. But I cut some limbs today, cut some limbs out of the tree. We had a storm earlier this week. I got out with my extendable chainsaw, weed eater looking thing, and cut some limbs out of the tree that had been broken over. That's about all the manual labor I do. And they make great wear for that kind of stuff. And whatever their politics are, I like their clothing. So I like them. So I support them. So I am partnered with them. Huck, high performance fishing wear. I have my place down on the Redneck Riviera. You see Huck everywhere down there. You can get to their site from my webpage, Caliber Coffee, and then I have my affiliations with Total Wine and Cigars International. That's where my sticks come from. That's where the spirit comes from that goes in my glass. This glass is actually, 2 supporters and there are 2 affiliates in one. I am an affiliate marketer for all of these places. This is my legal disclaimer. And if you do any clicking or purchasing, I may receive a commission from the retailer. And I greatly appreciate your support. And they would greatly appreciate your support as well. One of my newest is Grilla Grills. And they make some great grills, great outdoor products. I had a post the other day showing one of their modular kitchens that you can have installed in your no shoes bar and grill. Again, great products, American made. Check out the folks at Grilla Grills. You can find them. You can find them where I am. So, well, that cigar is done, and I'm about done. So I'm going to wish you all adieu, and I will see you on season 3, episode 14, forthcoming. Have a great day. Keep your sticks dry, your stones cold.